Hello and welcome to the STUK on Self-Love podcast. STUK Designs is a successful nonprofit for girls and a clothing brand run by young women from around the world. At STUK Designs, we believe in self-love first because self-love is the dawn that marks the beginning of all the different kinds of loves and because it undoubtedly sustains success. This podcast shines light on strong and talented women who excel and persevere in life while bathing in abundant self-love. So if you're ready to keep it real, level up in all your inner work, creative business, and community impact, then you've come to the right place because we provide you with content that helps your soul glow and your mind grow. Thank you for pressing play. Let's dive in. Hello, STUK community, and welcome back to another episode of the STUK on Self-Love podcast. I'm your host, Tazeen, and today we're joined by an inspiring mental health influencer. So first of all, let us begin by having you introduce yourself to the audience.
Hi, Tazeen. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Elena Breese. I am a Boston Marathon bombing survivor. I was standing at the finish line on April 15th, 2013, waiting for my husband to cross. And I just happened to be standing directly across the street from the first, where the first bomb exploded. Mm-hmm. And at the time, we had two small children. Our kids were 6 months old and 3 years old. And so when we got home to Arizona, I was, just taking care of everyone around me, and I really failed myself. And 3.5 years later, I was hospitalized with severe PTSD symptoms. And I've worked every day since then to heal and grow through this somehow. Right. And I think I'm doing that. So I am very passionate about sharing natural modalities, therapeutic modalities that have helped me heal. And I've tried many things. I've tried it all. And I like to share that. I feel it's my calling because the world we live in today, there is so much trauma. Mm-hmm. We are living in a collective trauma right now with COVID and just the world climate.
Yeah.
And so I feel that it's even more important each day that I share this and build awareness around PTSD, because I think in the years to come, many, many people will be experiencing symptoms of PTSD. So that's kind of who I am and what I do in a nutshell.
Right. So tell us about that particular day. What was it like? Because you've experienced that firsthand, which, unfortunately, nobody should have to go through that. But can you talk to us about what exactly happened that day?
Well, the day of the bombing, just to kind of paint a picture for your listeners, it's Patriots Day in Massachusetts, and it's a holiday. So schools are closed, banks are closed. Everybody comes out, and there are thousands of people at the finish line throughout the whole day, watching their finishers. And it was a beautiful day in Boston. It was sunny and warm for April. I made my way down there at the designated time that my husband was supposed to be finishing. And I just joined, thousands of people enjoying the day. It was very celebratory. There were all kinds of people finishing the race, which was truly inspirational because I had never been to a marathon finish line, and I had never seen people finishing something so incredible. And it was just a really beautiful moment. And then that moment was just pierced by these two explosions. And really, it just became like a battle zone down there within seconds. There was 12 seconds between the impacts of the bombs. I was standing there with my brother-in-law, and it takes time for your brain to catch up to these things when you're witnessing them. And before before we could even process what had just happened right across from us, and the people who were swirling in hysterics, the sound of it, the smoke, the bomb concussion hitting us, because it separates the air so quickly that you actually see the waves of air coming towards you and going up the buildings. So before you're kind of piecing that together, another bomb goes off, and then you're kind of trying to make sense of, how can I get to safety? How can I help these people in front of me? What's happening? Are there more bombs? How can I get down these bleachers in a safe manner with all these children and families and people around me? I mean, your brain goes through a lot to make sense of these things. And that's really what that day was a lot of for me, because moments after this, I turned the corner and was faced with a bomb squad driving towards me with armed men hanging off, and trying to get word out to my family that I was safe, because they knew where I was. They were all back here in Arizona monitoring my husband and his progress. And my sister was with my kids, so I wanted her to know that I was okay. I mean, it was difficult. It was difficult. And I've done a lot of trauma work around it. I think, people latch on to the bombing and the images that they see on TV when something like this happens. But what changes for the people standing there is they'll never be in public again and feel safe. They will avoid crowds. They will avoid going to the grocery store. They will avoid things that are human experiences that we can't go on without. And so it's like, we have this safety bubble around us that we're born with, and then something comes and pops that, and it's never going back. So we have to learn how to live without it. And I don't know, what you see on TV is what it was, but it was a lot more than just that too.
Right. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that, and that so many others had to go through that. It's massive. It's life-changing, And so tell us about, how you've managed your healing, and what is your struggle like with PTSD? Because there's still many people out there who don't really know what PTSD is exactly, and how to build on that, how to heal from that. So talk to us about that.
Well, I think it's really important to first recognize the symptoms, because for me, it started with nightmares and sleep disturbances around the 1-year anniversary of the bombing. My husband was watching a lot of the footage that our media was kind of, regurgitating on us.
Right.
And I started having really bad nightmares, not about the bombing, about, my kids and people that who are very close to me, and losing them in really awful ways. And they were very, very graphic. And then that kind of ballooned into depression and anxiety. And over the course of 3.5 years, like I mentioned, because I didn't seek help right away, I wasn't making the connection back to my trauma, back to the bombing. So over the next 3.5 years, it ballooned. I was having panic attacks in public places. I, again, wasn't sleeping very well. It started to affect my ability to drive. It started to affect my ability to eat. It really just kind of took over my life. And so by the time I stopped eating and sleeping, we obviously knew that there were some significant problems there. And I got treatment. And I was in a mental hospital. It was a really hard experience for me. I was over medicated. I didn't know what the medications were. I didn't understand what they were. I didn't know what they were doing to my body. they try and stabilize you and kind of send you on your way. And so that's what they did for me. They sent me on my way, and that's where I became the CEO of my own healing. And I put together my own team of people who were going to be a part of this journey with me. So somehow I was empowered by the whole experience that I went through. It was a huge reset button for me. Mm-hmm. And from there, I met with several trauma therapists, who I've now been in EMDR therapy for 4 years. I don't go as often as I used to anymore. When these symptoms were more acute, I was going weekly, mm-hmm. every other week, a couple times a month. And then it just kind of over time, as I healed, I didn't have to go as much, mm-hmm. but, so I found a trauma therapist, my physician, a naturopathic doctor, an acupuncturist. All of these people kind of became my team and have helped me heal and grow from it.
You are truly so brave. I mean, people cannot imagine what it must have been like, because we're out here living our lives without, taking things, we take things for granted. And to hear your story is really an eye-opener. And, you're just so incredible and so brave. Now, talk to us about what made you take this decision of sharing your story online and, helping other people on social media?
Well, I started journaling in the hospital, and it just became really a cathartic thing for me to do, is put these things into words, even though they're really hard to describe when they're happening on the inside of you. Right. Sometimes words fail to meet those feelings. A lot of times they do. And I started writing, and then a very close friend to me said, "Hey, you should just blog about this. Maybe there are people out there who can connect with you or whatever." So I started blogging actually 5 years ago. My blog just turned 5 last week. No. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And I started connecting with people, and actually it connected me with an incredible group of people. An organization called Strength to Strength. They support victims of terror all over the world. And once I connected to these people, my loneliness that I had been feeling just really went away. So, in a roundabout way, sharing my story helped me connect with people who've helped me. I can't even describe to you how much they've helped me and continue to inspire me today. I mean, I'm very close with 9/11 survivors of the Mumbai attacks. One of my dearest friends survived the attacks there in Mumbai, in Nairobi, Israel, France. I mean, terrorism is it's something we share in every place, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So, I just was inspired to share because I thought maybe if I could help one person, it would put some purpose to the pain that I had been going through. And it really has. I get messages every day from people all around the world who tell me that, something I've said or shared has helped them. And so that inspires me to keep going, keep sharing, keep talking.
What you're doing is truly remarkable, and it is so, so important. So thank you so much for doing what you do. Really. And now let's finally talk about self-love, because that is what our organization really is about. So what has your self-love journey been like, and how has this incident impacted your journey in any way, or has your self-love affected your healing?
Oh gosh, in every way. I think most moms, wives, business owners, employees can relate to putting yourself last. And that's really what I did. And that's why I became so sick. And when I walked through the doors of that hospital, I knew, okay, I need to put myself first, or I'm not going to be here much longer. And I have a family, and I have these beautiful children counting on me. And so that's really the moment that I made that decision that I needed to put myself first. And that was my first act of really showing myself love in all of this. And over the years, it's grown. Self-love, so much of it is listening to yourself and what you need, and when you need a break or a bath or to curl up with a book or journal. And I mean, I think that it's taken time to develop this relationship with myself, and be able to recognize what works and when I need something when I need a tool. It's taken time to cultivate that relationship. But I think if you can be gentle with yourself and listen, get real quiet and try and listen to what your anxiety, what your depression, what your feelings are telling you, it will help you cultivate a knowing that you can then kind of spring forward through your life, and you can learn so much from yourself if only you listen. It just takes time and practice. So yeah, I think loving myself, I wasn't very good at it at first. And some days I have days where I don't, but it's getting easier, and it's been a huge part of my journey.
What does your daily life look like? What do you do on a daily basis to heal and to get better?
I mean, when I was so acutely sick with PTSD, a lot of it was just eating or trying to get good rest, trying to take care of myself in a very simple way. Today, I can do so much more. So I do make sure I take my medication and my supplements every day. That's a huge part of loving myself. I just took it right before I hopped on here with you. I walk every day. So I make sure I get outside. My dog and we walk 3 miles every day. It doesn't matter what is happening. I make time for that because I need it. And when I walk, I like to do a meditative walk. So it's kind of something I've cultivated, but it's checking in with my body and certain parts of my body, moving energy through. It's a very conscious meditation that I do while I walk. I'll listen to music that feeds my soul. I'll journal, I'll read. And a lot of this is I'm trying to build a routine that my kids can recognize so that they know what some of these healthy things are to take care of themselves too. So I love using meditation apps. Oh God, I don't know. I literally am doing things all the time to take care of myself. It's just it's like a daily practice. And when I start to feel off, I know, okay, I need to slow down and get outside or go take a bath or, these sorts of things. So.
Right. That is wonderful. I mean, I truly thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us here today. Your story is just so incredibly inspiring, and how you've managed to spring back from your circumstance is worth applauding. So thank you for doing what you do. And you're such an angel for helping other people out there. So thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for doing what you do.
Thank you. I don't want to paint the picture that I just sprung back to life all of a sudden. I mean, it took time.
It
was hard work, and it wasn't a linear process. I mean, the bombing, the 9-year anniversary is coming up. So it took time.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. But thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And I hope you have an amazing day and a wonderful, wonderful life ahead. And to the audience, thank you so much for joining us today. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye. Bye, Elena. Take care.
Bye.
And it was so nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. You can visit our website, www.stukdesigns.org, to shop our merch, make donations, join our blogging team, or be a part of our affiliate program. See you in our next episode. Love and light from us to you.